All started with a noble mission to create the ultimate cookie jar, a sacred vessel worthy of safeguarding the world's most precious treasure cookies. But as I stood before my pottery wheel, hands coated in wet clay, I realized something. I had never actually thrown a cookie jar before. Sure, I had made bowls, mugs, even a wonky-looking vase that my mom insisted on displaying like it was a museum piece. But a cookie jar? That required precision, patience, and the ability to not fling wet clay across the room in a moment of panic. 3 things I was not particularly known for. Nevertheless, I slapped a hefty chunk of clay onto the wheel, took a deep breath, and started spinning. For those unfamiliar with pottery, let me paint a picture. Throwing clay on a wheel is like trying to shape pudding while it's actively fighting for its life. You push too hard, and it collapses. You don't push hard enough, and it taunts you with its unformed blobness. But I was determined. With careful hands and the unshakable focus of a reality show contestant about to be eliminated, I slowly pulled the walls of the jar upward. Each pull refines its shape, giving it the perfect balance of elegance and sturdiness. As the final touch, I shape a gentle lip at the top, just enough to accommodate a perfectly fitted lid. The foundations of the cookie jar are now complete. A cookie jar without a lid is like a knight without armor. Functional? Maybe. Complete? Not at all. Throwing a lid requires a different kind of precision. Unlike the jar, which has the freedom to take any shape, the lid must fit perfectly. Too small, and it'll slide around like a toddler in socks on a hardwood floor. Too big, and it won't sit right, leaving cookies exposed to the horrors of staleness. To give it character, I add a small handle at the top, a simple, elegant knob, sculpted to feel just right in the hand. Once the cookie jar has had time to firm up to a leather-hard state, it's time for trimming, a step that transforms a raw, freshly thrown piece into a polished work of art. Trimming is where a potter refines the form, removing excess clay to balance the weight and perfect the shape. It's the pottery equivalent of giving a haircut. Except if you mess up, there's no growing it back. I pick up my trimming tool, a sharp loop of metal designed to shave away excess clay, and begin carving. Each stroke peels away thin ribbons, revealing a smoother, more defined surface beneath. It's immensely satisfying, like whittling wood, but with the added risk that one wrong move could gouge a hole right through my masterpiece. I work slowly, shaving away layers until the walls feel just right. The goal is for the jar to be sturdy but not bulky, lightweight but not delicate. The first firing is where clay becomes ceramic. The kiln is carefully loaded, and as it heats to over 1,800 degrees Fahrenheit, a transformation takes place. The once fragile, porous clay undergoes a change. Moisture is driven out, the structure hardens, and the jar becomes something far more resilient. Once cooled, the bisque-fired piece is strong, ready for the next stage of its journey. Glazing is where the magic happens. The choice of glaze is critical. It determines not just the color, but the texture, the finish, the personality of the piece. A smooth satin glaze, a bold glossy shine, a speckled finish that hints at the handmade nature of the jar. The glaze is applied with precision, ensuring an even, flawless coat. It flows over the surface, pooling in just the right places to create subtle depth and movement. A careful wipe of the base ensures that the piece won't fuse to the kiln shelf during the final firing. Now, all that's left is to return it to the heat for its last transformation. And so, the cookie jar takes its place in the world. It will witness midnight snack cravings, celebratory treats, moments of joy, and moments of, I shouldn't, but I will. It is no longer just an object. It is an experience, a symbol, a silent, steadfast companion in the journey of baked goods.